Hey, welcome to MadTech again. This is just a real quick video. I'd done a quick introduction the other day on the Assessor remote, and I'd already done the software in the past. I haven't really explained much of how it works. I'm not going to do a line-by-line explanation, but I just want to give it a really basic outline what's going on. Okay, so the first thing I thought I'd talk about is the situations this thing may be used in. The first one, well, the obvious one, is the one-on-one situation where you have a single person, the assessor with the remote in his hands, and somebody on their scooter or wheelchair. So this is very basic here. There we go. So the receiver will be in here somewhere, and something's about to go wrong. It's going to hit a big rock or something. There we go. The person would transmit a signal over to here, and it cuts it off. That's a one-on-one sort of situation. The other situation would be there might be one assessor, so just forget that a minute. So you've got your one assessor with his remote, and then you'll have multiple people on scooters, and excuse my very rubbish drawing in this case. So there could be more than one scooter, and even could be even a wheelchair somewhere on it as well, somewhere. And this would be what I would call like a group situation, where this one assessor might have to stop the whole group at one time. So he would hit the button, the signal will be picked up by all of the people in that group, which would then stop it. But it is quite possible there could be two groups going on, so you could have another person over here with another complete group of wheelchairs and scooters, and you wouldn't want, if this one over here went stopped all of these, you wouldn't want necessarily these ones being stopped as well. So that's the second sort of situation, basically. Right, so the next sort of thought went through my mind was how we're actually going to achieve this. And so the first thing I thought, well, we can just send a stop signal to the person. So you've got your person with your little remote, you've got somebody over here with the receiver, transmit, stop, and it stops. But this thing's going to have a range, which might be there. If this person over here ends up over here and is about to have an accident or something, or just decides to go, obviously the stop feature will no longer work. So I needed some way of it detecting when it gets out of range and stopping automatically. Okay, so how was I actually going to achieve this? So I figured the transmitter will have to transmit a few bits of information. So the first thing it needs to transmit is an ID, and that's literally just a number, and that identifies the transmitter and the receiver, so that's which one it's talking to. As part of that though, because I wanted the group situation, I've added in a group, and again that's just a number. Okay, and then the next piece of information would be what I'm calling a command, so I just call it a com, and again in practice it is just a number, but that's all it is for now. And the fourth piece of information is basically every time you send a transmission I give it a little number, so it's the transmission ID if you want to call it that. Okay, so the first thing is our little transmitter unit with our big stop button on it. It's got to be transmitting constantly these 4 pieces of information, and it does it about once a second, say, but it can be changed. So the receiver on the other end has, so I'll just do a big receiver which plugs into your scooter. It's going to receive these bits of information, and the first thing it has to do is check that this transmission is actually for it. So it looks at the group and the ID. If it says these two are okay, then it means it's for that. It then looks at the command. So I set up the moment two commands, command 1 and command 2. Command 2 being stop. Command 1 is basically, I'll call it reset. And basically in here there's a little timer. I'll do a little clock, and it's going to be counting down from a set time, and every second it would reset to, say, for example, 10 seconds. During that 10 seconds it'll start counting down, and provided it receives the next one within 1 second, it'll just reset back to 10 seconds again. However, if it goes out of range, these will not be received. This will time out and then automatically stop the scooter. Okay, so there is also another timer though, because I also wanted a siren in here, or an alarm. So a little speaker sign, here we go, to make a noise. So there's another timer, and it's just basically, it's the same thing, but it's set at a shorter time. And so this one was more likely to run out, or we should run out first, causing the alarm to go off, and then when this one runs out it will stop the scooter. Okay, so the transmission ID, that is just there basically so the receiver can tell that it's actually got a different transmission, because 99% of the transmissions it receives, all of these will be exactly the same. It'll just be a constant reset, 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 and I'm just using that so it knows it's definitely got a new transmission and to act upon it. Okay, so that was my very quick and very basic explanation of the basics of how the software is working. In the next video we'll go through some of the build process. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you again. Cheers, bye.